Also in the crowd tonight, the oldest person here is Tony Bors, Roddy's former law partner. Although he admits to being 60 years old, Roddy claims he's 89. So congratulations to Tony for coming out here tonight. And the youngest one here, we don't really care who the youngest one here is. I don't know that I have it marked down here, but there's blank, so I think it's an achievement to be the youngest one here. But the most beautiful woman here, there is a tie for first place between all the women here tonight. Wow. I was today years old when I found out my uncle is smoother than me. Like, I would have never thought to write that. This is Uncle Roddy's quotes here. The most handsome men tonight, there was a tie for last place with all the men here tonight. I don't know why nobody won. I don't know how that happened, but we're doing all right. Like I was saying, friends and family are really important to Roddy. When I was visiting him in the hospital recently, he had asked me if I'd come out here and say a few words, say some things to you, make some jokes or make it a little bit lighter mood. And so I just want to say anything I say tonight is just a joke. I don't think anything is crazy that I'm about to say. But if you do get offended, we have an emotional support worker here tonight, my Uncle Mark. If you're offended, go talk to Uncle Mark. He will tell you what you can do with your hurt feelings. I promise you. He'll gladly tell you what you can do with your hurt feelings. I lived him for 3 months. He will tell you. Also, Uncle Roddy is really famous for washing his siblings' mouth out with soap. So I brought a bar of soap in case I accidentally swear, or if anyone else on the mic comes up here and swears. Lucky I didn't have it earlier, Warren. We're going to be washing people's mouths out tonight, so Roddy, you can stay in your seat. I will take care of the washing of the soap. You can have a day off and just relax, enjoy the show. So the plan tonight is to have some drinks, have some laughs, and then have some more drinks all the way until 10:30 tonight. And we're going to stay at the venue tonight, which is different from golf family tradition, which usually when we're at a venue, as soon as the lights dim, we're like the opposite of cockroaches. We all just scatter, and then we all reconvene at Uncle Roddy's house, where the top shelf whiskey flows like the Saskatchewan River. And we stay there for the rest of the night, then we show up at the very end. But we have to remember Roddy's staying here tonight, so we're all staying here tonight. Don't leave. It's going to be fine. The girls can handle it till 10:30. Yep. I spent a lot of time actually with Roddy when I was growing up. Him and my dad would go to Marquis Downs racetrack, bet on the horses, and that is where at a young age, probably 5 years old, I learned how to pick the winning horse, which it all comes down to research. When I say research, I mean drinking whiskey and Coke and looking at a program. That's what the research is. There's a lot of that, and they pick the winners from that. I found if you mix 1/3 whiskey, 1/3 Coke, 1/3 Diet Coke, my Uncle Roddy picked the horse right after that. He knows he's a smart man. Speaking of bookies, we got the Gall family bookie here tonight, all the way from Costa Rica, Randy. If you guys haven't put bets on tonight's event, the betting lines are still open. We have a few lines going. First one is, who's going to be the last one up drinking still tonight? So far, Alexis, Natalie, and me are tied for first place at 2-to-1 odds. That's usually how, hold on. Just got a message from Randy. There's been a late entry. He didn't know my brother McCrae was going to be here. McCrae is now the odds-on favorite. 8-to-5 odds. Not a lot of money to be made there, but he's probably going to win. Better off betting on a place or a show if you're going to be picking tonight. We got another line still available at 4-to-1 odds. 4-to-1 odds that I embarrassed my mom by getting too intoxicated tonight, and she doesn't come out for another decade. So if you haven't already said hello to my mom, you might want to go back there. I know she's really happy I mentioned her name on the microphone, and say hello to her. There's no coincidence that at our family reunions, after I had my 5th drink, Mom went to bed. So just remember that one. 5-to-1 odds that my Uncle Mark was going to show up in a MAGA hat just to try and piss people off. But he didn't do it. I had money on that one. He didn't do it. And then the final bet that's still live was if you bet on whether tonight's event was going to be a birthday party or a funeral, you can't cash that in until 10:30 tonight. The night is young. We need to let it process before the cash out begins, all right? So just hold on to your tickets for that one. Also, here's some trivia that my Uncle Roddy wrote down for me. Just a fact that he actually traveled from Saskatoon to Rose Valley for 50 years, which is 1 million kilometers, more than a return trip to the moon throughout his career. He did that. And in a totally unrelated note to my uncle driving, I'd just like to say I hope everyone plans a safe, sober, designated driver ride home. Do not drink and drive, please. Have a safe plan. Also, there's non-alcoholic beer now at the back, so for those of you that are waiting for non-alcoholic beer, that is now here. My uncle was also a lawyer in Rose Valley for 50 years. I don't know if you guys know this, but Rose Valley's only been around for 100 years. So while the settlers were getting the land going, Roddy was going to law school. He was like, man, I'm going to be the first lawyer. All right. In all seriousness, though, I am honored to be here, to be a part of tonight's event. I am honored that my Uncle Roddy trusted me with being on the microphone. Throughout my life, my Uncle Roddy has always been there for advice. Whenever I needed someone to call, I could call on my Uncle Roddy. I once called him and told him that me and my brother were interested in buying a horse and naming it Bruce after our dad. And I asked him, hey, can you help me with getting a horse? I'd like to get this. And he gave me some really great advice. He said, let me tell you how to make a small fortune in horse racing. First, you gotta start off with a big fortune. And best advice ever, best advice. We never bought the horse. So thank you, Uncle Roddy. The bank account thanks you as well. In fact, he always gave me and my brother great advice. Even when the police told my brother he had only one person he could call for advice, he called Uncle Roddy. And I wish I was there for that moment. Because, my brother's sitting there telling him, I plead not guilty. Then he goes off, I'm going to call my uncle, he's a lawyer. So he goes off in the other room, calls him up, hey, Uncle Roddy, you've just been charged with drunk driving, what should I do? Roddy says, well, were you drunk? He goes, yeah. He's like, well, then you're guilty. I wish I was there to watch my brother walk back into the interrogation room. He's like, well, after consulting with my lawyer, turns out I'm guilty. Who knew? That's some great advice, Probably should have called one of those 1-900 lawyers on TV screaming all the time. That guy would lie for you. We got the one lawyer that's honest is in our family. Like, we can't win, man. Can't pass things down, man. The thing is that, the biggest thing of advice that Roddy ever gave me, to be honest with you guys, was just before the fight that Warren was talking about. 3 days before my boxing fight, Uncle Roddy calls me up and says, hey, you haven't said anything about your fight. You're supposed to be fighting on Saturday. But at that time, I just started my flooring business, and I was really busy. I had a 25 apartment complex. I had to do the whole thing. So I hadn't trained for like 3 or 4 months at that time, and I said to him, I'm pulling out. I'm canceling. I'm not going to fight in a few days. Don't come down. And I'll never forget the Rocky Balboa style speech that my uncle gave me after that. I said, like, I'm not ready for this. And he said, well, you're rarely ready for life's challenges. You're rarely prepared for what's going to come at you in life. You've got to step up. And if you start making excuses about why you can't do something, you will never accomplish anything. Never fear failure, because failure is a part of success. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Just kidding, he didn't say none of that. He didn't say anything. I just made that all up. That's what I heard, though. That's what I heard. I got motivated. I'm back in the fight. All right, let's do it. That's not, he didn't say any of those words, but, you know, my motivation was up. What he actually said was, I said, yeah, I've been training for like 3 or 4 months, and the actual word he said was, you're probably going to get your ass kicked. That was the actual word, that was it. But I heard the first part. And I was motivated because he said a little bit more than that. He said, you're probably going to get your ass kicked. But then he said, but who cares? I never thought about that part. I was like, whatever, all my friends are going to see this. Everyone's going to see it. It's like, no, who cares, man? Go out there and fight. So that's what I ended up doing, was deciding to listen to my Uncle Roddy. I started on his training program. I don't know if you guys know my Uncle Roddy's intense training programs. This guy will stay up till 1 in the morning and start working out at 5 a.m. and then just eat 1 egg on a rice cracker. This workout. So I did those for 3 days, went in the ring, won the fight. Amazing advice, Uncle Roddy. So thank you for that. Great advice once again.